We live in a world where a gorgeous blonde white woman in a jeans commercial is proof of white supremacy. The Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans commercial. It's been all over. You've seen it. We'll start with the Meltdowns. If you haven't seen it or would like to see it again, why not? Sydney Sweeney. She is hot. Here it is.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney, Aspergine.
Because apparently having white models in a majority white country is some deep plot to make everyone else feel ugly. If you're white, you're not allowed to feel good about yourself because that might make someone else, somewhere else, feel bad or less beautiful. Nothing says breaking news like the left losing its mind over a round of golf and our president dropping a golf ball, being accused of cheating. Here's their evidence.
Find the colors, find the light. In the gray, we'll find our sight. Brutal banner, fierce words, shadows creep, streets look hurt.
Welcome to Stay in the Gray podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and I'm here to bring you raw conversations about life and those undeniable human truths. We dive into the chaos, one issue at a time, blending comedy, controversy, and the unexplainable. Get ready for transparent ideas straight from the gray areas where most answers are hiding. So stay curious, stay inquisitive, please stay laughing, stay in the gray. Come check it out. We'll see you there. Hey guys, we are back with yet another They Really Said That Grievance games. I'm thoroughly enjoying calling all of these people out. The lunacy is not going away. We're at the obvious point in time where woke culture, we all know how I feel about that, it's slowly dying out, but the loudest voices in that movement are just getting louder and more desperate. And desperation is dangerous because when these people live in these echo chambers, they convince each other that their delusions are reality. And that's why I do this segment. Every other show within Stay in the Gray podcast, I do this segment now because if you don't shine a light on it, it gets worse. The lies, the race baiting, they'll just keep being louder. And to some of us, it's getting tiresome. These aren't random trolls online either, as much as I'd like to blame them. These are activists, politicians, celebrities, people with influence who are still trying to guilt trip America into submission while screaming the same tired talking points over and over again. So as usual, we're going to call them out one by one, because if nobody does, this garbage just keeps spreading. And I feel like one of the best ways to deal with bad issues in today's world is to drag them in the open and laugh at how stupid they are. Laughter really is the best medicine. This is Stay in the Gray podcast. It is August the 4th, 2025. It's hot as shit here in Texas. Let's roll. The main reason I hate the woke is because they get offended by everything, yes. But they think that they're right. They think that their feelings equal facts. And that's just not true at all. All these insane things to be offended by, this may be the one that takes the cake. We all know what I'm going to talk about is. We live in a world where a gorgeous blonde white woman in a jeans commercial is proof of white supremacy. The Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans commercial. It's been all over. You've seen it. We'll start with the Meltdown. So if you haven't seen it or would like to see it again, why not? Sydney Sweeney. She is hot. Here it is.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keens.
If you haven't seen it, I'll give you a second to laugh at how stupid it is that this is getting a backlash. And if you have seen it, laugh again. Why not? You've got a beautiful girl, a clever pun, which any marketing program in school, a degree plan in school will have you do, is work on those puns. It's an ad for blue jeans. End of story. Not for the woke. Not for some of these left victims. Because according to the usual suspects on that side of the aisle in the woke world, if a gorgeous blonde, blue-eyed woman says she's got great genes, as a play on words, that's now racist. Enter in, as an example, Zeli Amani. This is a self-proclaimed activist and educator. You know, the kind of guy molding young minds into permanent victims. He wrote the following. The American Eagle ad wasn't just a commercial. It was a love letter to white nationalism and eugenic fantasies. And Sydney Sweeney knew it. Where do I even begin with this? This is absolute nonsense on the part of this guy. So now comparing blue eyes to blue jeans like you wear is white nationalism. This is the mindset teaching kids that the world owes them everything. And shocker, it's the same mindset that's leaving entire communities stuck in poverty. By the way, hot white girl hasn't really been allowed in many commercials in years, it seems. Through all this nonsense, we finally let one take the role, and it must be part of this blonde hair, blue-eyed master race fantasy. If only, right? We tried to sneak our eugenics agenda through a clever jeans pun, but nope. Zeli and his woke crowd are just too smart for that. Then we've got Mark Lamont Hill, who's apparently still around, on Piers Morgan's show, on the panel. And listen to this, Jim, when talking about the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad.
And talked about it in the context of this white woman. White women are normal, but so are other people. The problem is, historically, we have only normalized white people. And so we've made white women's bodies, white male bodies, the norm. And we've made everything else less human, less beautiful, less real. And so when we say good genes are the ones that...
What a load of crap. Honestly, I'm sorry, Mark. If I may jump in on my own show.
I love it. I don't always agree with Piers. I respect him. But that was awesome. That's right, Piers. What a load of crap. Because apparently having white models in a majority white country is some deep plot to make everyone else feel ugly. If you're white, you're not allowed to feel good about yourself because that might make someone else, somewhere else, feel bad or less beautiful. Newsflash, the commercial was great. American Eagle doubled down on it as they should have. Their stock is up, their sales are up, and the only people are mad are the ones who can somehow find racism in a pair of jeans. Zeli, Mark, thank you for proving exactly why woke outrage is circling the drain. Sydney Sweeney's got great genes. She's hot as hell. And your victimhood isn't going to change that. I have some American Eagle jeans in my shopping cart online. It will be the most fulfilling submit and pay button I've ever pressed. Clicked on. Let's move on. But, this story, you do a commercial, just doing a pun. Jeans and jeans. And somehow, thank goodness it's fading, is all I have to say. Next up, on a little more serious of a note, let's talk about what happened in Cincinnati, where a couple of middle-aged people were violently beaten by a group of at least 5 or 6 people, while as many as a dozen just stood there, either filming, getting the occasional cowardly kick in while they were down. The ones filming it was just like it was a sideshow. Like it was thug behavior. Here's a quick snippet, just in case you missed it. I obviously don't have the whole thing, but here's a quick snippet for you. Yeah, by the way, disclaimer, it's not easy to watch. This wasn't a man-to-man, woman-to-woman, one-on-one fight. This wasn't self-defense by this group. This was cowardly, animalistic behavior. A large group of people ganging up on two people, kicking them while they're down, beating them unconscious, cheap shots as a large group. There is nothing, I'll say it again, nothing that makes that okay. As you saw, these people were on the ground and done. Yet this group of thugs continued. What a bunch of cowards. And right when you think it can't get any worse, what does the Cincinnati Congresswoman Victoria Parks do? She posts the following. They begged for that beatdown. I'm grateful for the whole story. Are you fucking kidding me right now? This is an elected official cheering on violence against her own citizens. What whole story could possibly justify beating these people within an inch of their lives? And if you think this isn't about race, you're lying to yourself. Flip it around. I know we say that. Flip it. If 5 to 12 white people did this to two black people, it would be called a hate crime before the first punch even landed. CNN would be wall to wall with panels, and statues would already be being built for the victims. Here's what the woman looked like after this so-called beatdown that they begged for. Take a look at her. Yeah. But, sure. Now that you got the whole story. Good thing. When you get the whole story, then, that makes total sense. It's unbelievable. If it wasn't insane enough that this congresswoman said this, the city's police chief, Terry Thieg, I can't even say her last name, Thieg, looks like a DEI hire to me, held a press conference, and she scolded us, the people, and the reporters, for misrepresenting the situation on social media and in the media. Listen to this bullshit.
Another topic I want to cover real quick. Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event.
Misrepresenting. What exactly is misrepresented here? One of the white people said something disrespectful. You saw there in the video, there was like a little bit of a baby slap there. Okay, fair enough. Then, step up, get your dukes ready, and or don't. I mean, you're not really supposed to, but at least one-on-one, man-to-man. Okay, you obviously had an issue. There's a conflict. That it does not justify a mob stomping him and another woman into the pavement. This is what happens when a city loses its spine, when violence is excused and sometimes glorified, and elected officials cheer it on. You get barbarism, you get primitive behavior, and the civilized people start to leave. And you can stick your heads in the sand all you want. That's starting to happen. These cities will rot from the inside out. This is Exhibit A. Victoria Parks, you are absolute trash. Cincinnati deserves way better than a congresswoman who thinks mob violence is something to celebrate. Speaking of dumbass congresswomen, let's welcome back a return contestant, one of my favorites because she gives me so much material, Miss Jasmine Crockett. She is one of my least favorite people, I think, out of the people I've never met. She's a race-baiting queen, the misinformation champion. And now, here we go again. She's comparing Trump to Hitler. I'm sorry, but let's watch it.
Again, straddle the fence. They want to show that they are loyal to this, I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things. But this wannabe Hitler, for sure, they want to pledge their loyalty to him, and they know that he does not want this released. I think that they also are concerned about the damage that it may do. If he's trying to hide it, they understand that it is most likely problematic for him, as well as the MAGA brand, as well as the Republicans. So I don't anticipate that they will be on board for doing anything that may harm them.
Oh, goodness. This shtick is getting old. Well, the Hitler stuff mainly, but she's talking about the Epstein files. That's this already getting old. This is another clueless liberal tossing around Hitler comparisons like it's candy out of a piñata. She either has no idea what Hitler actually did, or she knows exactly how absurd the comparison is and just doesn't care because it fits the left's desperation narrative. Hitler, I'll say it again. I can't believe I have to fucking say this. Hitler murdered millions. He built concentration camps, threw people in gas chambers. He tried to erase entire ethnic groups from the planet. Do you know who that lines up with? Authoritarian regimes that crush free speech, take away rights, and treat citizens as expendable pawns. You claim that's the right. You claim that that's what the conservatives are doing. But once again, your ignorance shtick strikes again. It's actually perfectly aligned with the stuff that the Democrats are fine with when it suits their agenda. Let's not forget, Hitler rose to power through a nationalist brand of socialism, promising government control and state-provided solutions for everything. That sounds like the left. It's the same big government, speech policing, gun grabbing nonsense that the modern left pushes for every single day. If you want to talk about Trump, he's enforcing things like immigration law. It's a law, literally his job. His son-in-law is Jewish, and he has a solid relationship, could be a little better these days, with Israel. I don't know if you know your history, but I'm pretty sure Hitler wasn't exactly throwing Shabbat dinners. This kind of rhetoric is dangerous because people hear it over and over again, and eventually some idiots start to believe it. That's how you get unwanted violence. And let's not forget, this whole clip came in response to the Epstein files issue again. Reminder, Democrats never touched those files during their entire time in power. They could have. Now, suddenly they're pretending to care because they think they got a list that implicates Trump. Proximity isn't guilt. Being in the same photograph or on the same flight log doesn't make you part of some conspiracy. If that were the standard, half of Hollywood and DC would be in handcuffs. And that's exactly why Democrats fought so hard to keep them sealed. Jasmine, if comparing Trump to Hitler is your big closing argument, then congratulations. We see right through you, as you just proved your party's desperation better than I ever could. All right, time for a lighter one. This is this is funny. Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to go ahead and go with funny. Nothing says breaking news like the left losing its mind over a round of golf and our president dropping a golf ball, being accused of cheating. Here's their evidence. Quick and simple. It showed him basically pulling up and everybody's kind of looking for his ball, and then his caddy drops the ball. Martina Navratilova, who hasn't been relevant since the Reagan administration, she jumps on X. In case you don't know who this is, she was a famous tennis player in the 80s. She jumps on and she posts the following. ROFLMAO. He just can't help but cheat in everything on his wife's, his real estate, his taxes, and of course, golf. First off, let's address something, Martina. ROFLMAO, like really rolling on the floor. Like, really? What is this, 2007 AIM chat? Let's be real. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in there. Chris Evert was way better than you. Anybody that knows the sport will know that that will make her angry. Here's the reality, Martina. I've been playing golf since I was like 4 years old. Some would say it's an obsession. Anybody that loves golf understands. Dropping a ball happens constantly, especially at the amateur level, unless you're playing in a tournament or you're playing the boys for money. If you can't find a ball, and it happens all the time in golf, most amateurs will take it what's called a drop. It's exactly like it sounds. You drop another ball. If you're lucky enough to have a caddy, him or her dropping it for you is perfectly normal. Trump could have easily said, just go ahead and drop one. I don't feel like looking. There was fescue all around. But let's just pretend for a second that he actually told the caddy to cheat. That he said, you know what, go out there and drop this ball. But cheat for what? It's a casual round of golf. Who gives a fuck? He wasn't playing in the fucking Masters. It wasn't a PGA Tour event. It was just a day out in the course. Who cares? This is what Trump derangement syndrome looks like. Because people who obsess over every tiny thing that this man does, just so they can feel like they've scored some big gotcha points, are a problem. And Martina, while we're at it, you know nothing about real estate, taxes, or the business world that Trump's dominated for decades. Using the laws in corporate taxes and real estate to your advantage isn't cheating. It's called being smart enough to know how the system works. Martina, the day that you beat Chris Evert again is the day that I care what you think about golf or business or taxes or literally anything else. Thank you for your contribution to these games. Lastly, today we have Chuck Schumer, the human beige wall paint of politics. He's a man so robotic and soulless. You half to expect him to boot up every morning with a Windows XP startup sound. He's now claiming that Republicans don't want certain people to vote. Check it out.
These guys are undoing everything in every way they can. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote. They don't want Democrats to vote. They don't believe in democracy. We do.
They're going to be started on democracy again, Chuck. Which side represents it? According to Chuck, we're all just evil masterminds trying to stop poor people, people of color, and get this, Democrats themselves from voting. Because apparently asking for an ID to vote is the same thing as voter suppression. Let me get this straight. You've heard this before, but I'll repeat it. You need an ID to drive, to open a bank account, to buy alcohol, to get on a plane, to check into a hotel, to pick up a package at the post office, even to get into most government buildings. But the one time the country says, hey, you know what? Maybe we prove you're an American citizen before you cast a ballot. And suddenly it's, you guessed it, racist. The argument from their end is that people of color and poor people supposedly don't have IDs. Many of them don't. Is that the line, really? Because the last I checked, if you drive, you've got one, or you're legally required to have one. And if you don't drive, you can get a state ID or passport the exact same way that everybody else can. Claiming that it's harder for these people to get an ID is the most condescending thing I've ever heard. How are the minorities and the poor people and all, how are they not pissed? You're basically telling them they're incapable of living day-to-day life in America. This isn't about voter access. It's about the Democrats losing their biggest advantage. They know that if they can't count on illegal votes, their chances of winning tank. So instead of admitting it, they cry racism. Sound familiar? The definition of a broken record. Chuck, if your party's success depends on people who can't legally vote, maybe the problem isn't voter ID laws. Maybe the problem is your policies. Anyway, there they are, the 5 contestants. It's award time because these clowns truly outdid themselves this week. Awards have got to be given out. The bronze medal today goes to Martina Navratilova for proving that Trump derangement syndrome extends all the way to a casual round of golf on his own course. Congrats, Martina. You're officially the only person still using rolling on the floor laughing my ass off in 2025. The silver medal today goes to none other than Jasmine Crockett, loud and annoying, for comparing Trump to Hitler, because why not? If stupidity were a sport, Jasmine, you'd have more gold than Michael Phelps. The gold medal tonight, Victoria Parks. This pissed me off enough. For being an actual elected official, cheering on a violent mob attack in her own city. Came out today that she hasn't even called the victims to check on it. The mayor hasn't called the victims to check on it. He refuses to, he called it a fight. It was just a fight. Victoria, you've taken political trashiness to a level even Twitter X trolls wouldn't touch. Enjoy the gold medal because you definitely earned it today. So, special dishonorable mention is Chuck Schumer for managing to sound like a malfunctioning Roomba while still accusing Republicans of voter suppression. Truly inspiring stuff. And lastly, the honorable mention tonight is anyone offended, anyone, all of you get this fucking medal award. Anybody offended by the American Eagle Sydney Sweeney jeans ad for managing to see racism in a clever pun about blue jeans. If being perpetually outraged were an Olympic sport, you guys would all take home gold every single time. Again, this is why I do this segment, because for years, woke, hypersensitive culture has been chipping away at everything that made this country fun, proud, and free. They've ruined sports logos, not because people actually represented were offended, but because a handful of self-appointed activists decided to be outraged on their behalf. They've sucked the life out of comedy, stand-up, sitcoms, movies. Everything has to pass through the offense filter before it ever hits the stage or the screen. And instead of building anything worthwhile to replace it with, they push garbage like cultural appropriation, where even a little white girl dressing up as Moana for Halloween is apparently a federal crime. They glorify victimhood, riots, looting, group beatdowns, as long as the attackers were not white. Here's the truth. People like us, not white people, people like the anti-woke, are the majority now. We are fed up. We are done apologizing for existing. And as long as we call out this insanity and laugh at it even, refuse to bend the knee, it loses its power, or at least some of it. So if you're sick of watching your entire culture get stolen and replaced with this nonsense, for lack of a better word, then push back with me. The only way we win this is together, and we're seeing that. So like and subscribe and follow all the good stuff. Everything matters. I would love having company as we move forward through all this. The bar for these contestants keeps getting lower, and somehow they keep crawling under it. At least I have plenty of material for you. I'm not going anywhere. So stay loud and stay proud. Stay laughing. Stay in the gray. Love you guys.